Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to go through my favorite trading strategy and what I use the most. So I would say about 80% of my trades are this specific strategy. So I'll go through exactly what I do and what I have to look out for. So as most of you know, I am a scalper. So 90% of my trades are scalp trades, and then the other 10% is kind of mixed with swing trading and day trading. So I'm going to go through this one specific scalping strategy. It's called breakout trading, and I'm going to go through exactly the steps that I take to be able to enter a position. So I go through what I look for in futures. I'll go through what I look for in futures, what I look for in the stock, and exactly how I set up my trading plan for that specific breakout trade. I think it's really important that everyone has a trading plan behind every trade that you take, no matter what type of strategy that you implement. Also, with this strategy, I've seen about an 85% win rate. Usually when I take a loss using this strategy, market is extremely choppy, or I missed something. I didn't look for something in my trading plan, or I missed the checkbox that I was supposed to look for. So I'll go through exactly kind of how you can avoid getting faked out in this specific trading strategy as well. All that being said, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and let's go ahead and get started.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started on this strategy. So basically the foundation of this strategy, just like the foundation of any trader, is going to be charting. So make sure that you have your stock charted all the way through. I do have a charting video that I will link down below for you guys if you need to watch that. Go ahead and watch that first. Make sure the stock that you're looking at, you have charted all the way through so you know exactly what levels to watch. This strategy is very specific to support and resistance levels and supply and demand zones. So you want to make sure that all of those levels and zones are charted prior to trying to implement this strategy. Whenever I'm looking for a ticker to trade for the day, I always make sure that, like I said, it's already charted, and then I go to the 15-minute time frame, and this is what I look for first to identify my initial levels of entry and exit. So what you want to do is go to the 15-minute time frame. This is NVIDIA's 15-minute time frame. Let's say I was looking to trade NVIDIA for today. So if I was looking to trade NVIDIA for today, we're going to ignore what happened today and just open it right here. So you're going to look at NVIDIA, and you're going to look at what is the pre-market low and pre-market high. So if we go ahead and look at NVIDIA here for the pre-market low and pre-market high, the pre-market low is 386 and the pre-market high is around 393.70. So I usually round up to the nearest resistance or support level. So for example, the pre-market high is 393. I would round up to 395. That would be my initial entry. You could take the 393, but because this after hours high was 393.70, I would round it up to the next nearest level of resistance, which would be 395. To the downside, you can see that the pre-market low on this day was a 386.23, so I rounded down to 386. And then if we zoom out though, you can see that the next level down below 386 is 385. That is a previous level of support on NVIDIA, so that I would use 385 as the entry. So you always want to watch the pre-market high and pre-market low, and then look at the next significant level down or up. So because this is only a 1-to-1 risk to reward, so if I enter at 396, I would have to exit at my first profit target at 386, 385. This is not a good risk to reward. So I would wait for the 385 break, because below 385, the next level down on NVIDIA is 380. So this is a more significant break of support to take. To the upside, like I said, the 393 would be a decent resistance to take. However, you just need to make sure that the next level of resistance you have is 395. So that would become your first profit target. So you would exit at your first profit target, or at least scale out at your first profit target. The safest play to take would be above the 395. So that is how I go about determining my initial entry point. So for example, I would enter NVIDIA puts below 385 with targets of 380 and above 395 with targets of 398. There is a level at 398 on NVIDIA, and then 400. So those would be my targets to the upside, and those would be that's my plan to the downside for puts. So once I'm done analyzing my initial entry and exit points, I then watch the stock on the 2-minute time frame. So I'll go down to the 2-minute time frame, and on a day-to-day basis, I always watch the 2-minute time frame. So if we go ahead and look at NVIDIA for today, today was a little bit choppy, but I'll just go ahead and show you guys what is going on. So you can see that the 393 break was a decent break. NVIDIA broke up and then rejected right at the 395. So if you were going to take the 393 break, the 395 would be your exit. That's the first profit target. So this is a breakout trade. These are the type of trades that are about 85 to 90% of my trades are breakout trades, whether it's a support and resistance, supply and demand, or a trend line break. So this specific trade, 393 to 395, that would be a quick 4-minute scalp here. You exit at that first profit target at 395 on NVIDIA. Now, I am going to add one thing here for you guys to be able to see. So I always make sure that with a breakout trade, the key thing is making sure that there is volume. Usually the highest volume hours are going to be from 9:30 at market open until around 11. After 11, market tends to die down and our volume tends to die down and market slows a bit until around 1 p.m. 1 p.m. hits, volume sometimes picks back up if we do get a move later in the day and then kind of holds into the rest of the day. So you can see here, volume on NVIDIA is really high as it makes that move up. Whenever you are trading breakouts, you always want to make sure that there is volume behind the play. The volume is going to give the stock, the ticker, the momentum to be able to break through those significant levels of support and resistance. This right here, 393, scale out or lock your position at 395. You increase your stop. That would be one play. So this would be your entry on this candle, your breakout candle, confirmation candle. Break of 393, entry, target of 395, exit. That is a breakout scalp. Now, let's say you had the 395 break. You can see here, these are your breakout candles, but neither of these candles held above 395 on the 2 minute, so I would not have entered this above the 395 because I didn't get a confirmation candle here, okay? Now, looking to the downside, we had a level of 385 on NVIDIA to the downside, and if we look so far, NVIDIA has not broken that 385 level, not even the 386. So it's pretty much holding really choppy in the day. So that was the one example for what's going on today. Now let's look at another day on NVIDIA, a day that's actually trending. So same thing, you want to open up the 5-day, 15-minute time frame or however many days. The pre-market low is 376. The pre-market high is 384. My entry to the downside would be 376. You can see below 376, NVIDIA has a nice wick fill down to 366. To the upside above 384, we have levels at 390 and then this little wick to fill to 395. So if we go ahead and take a look at NVIDIA on this day, so this was the 26th. Okay, so I opened it on the 2-minute time frame, and remember we had a pre-market high of 384 and a pre-market low of 376. My entry to the upside is going to be 384 for calls. My entry to the downside for puts is going to be below 376. Below 376, we have levels here at 370 and then that wick fill to 366. And above the 384 level, we have levels at 387, 390, 395, and then 400. So if we can look here, you can see that overall on the day, NVIDIA was trending on this day. So I will tell you what you can do if you missed the initial breakout. This is how you would capture this play if, for example, you missed the 384 breakout. Okay, so we enter NVIDIA, let's say you missed this 384 breakout. Just an example here, when you enter the 384, these are your breakout candles. This is your confirmation candle for entry. This is the candle that I would enter on once it opens above 384 for entry. Target of 387, lock your position. You can see that at 387, it pulled back. Okay, cool. Let's say now the 387 becomes your entry, your next entry for a level of resistance. You can see that NVIDIA pulled back at that 387 level. So now that 387 level becomes high of day. You can then utilize that 387 level for your next entry for calls. So NVIDIA pulled back here, cool, comes back up. Look at where it rejects again, holding right under that 387 level. That 387 level is high of day. It is going to be a significant level throughout the rest of the day. So it is a level that you could potentially take for breakout for calls. Now on this play, it is a little bit tricky. So you would enter on this position here. You can see that there's a spike in volume. Now, depending on what you see on NASDAQ and ES futures as well, that's going to give you more significant price action if you're paying attention to NASDAQ. And as it pulls back here, volume is high, volume is low along this consolidation period. And then right here, right on this candle, you see a volume spike. That should give you a sign that, hey, NVIDIA is starting to pick up some volume. It's approaching that 387 level again. It has tested that 387 level multiple times today. It looks like it could potentially break. In conjunction with what you see on level 2 and the tape with NASDAQ and ES futures, I would enter on this candle. Your target is going to be 390. You exit at the 390. That is the next level of resistance up that I have charted on NVIDIA. That is where you would take profit. So you can continue as long as the stock is in an uptrend or a downtrend, continuously take high of day breaks or low of day breaks. Those are going to be continuous breakouts as long as there is volume, on the tape and level 2, and NASDAQ and ES futures are both in sync and they are trending in the same direction. You can continuously take high of day breaks, as long as there's volume there. Now you can apply this strategy to any ticker. Let's say, for example, you're looking at SPX, okay? So, and you're looking at a high probability trending day on SPX. Like I said, you can continuously scalp, especially when it is a trending day. If you don't want to hold, if you don't like day trading, if you don't like swing trading, you can just scalp the position. Now, if we look at SPX here on this day, let's say you missed this initial move up. You said it was a little bit too early in the day and you want to wait. High of day now becomes 41.77. Okay, so right here, as it pulls back at that 41.77 level here, you can see that it pulls back at that 41.77. And if we go ahead and look at the 5-minute time frames, I always like to look at pullbacks and consolidation periods on the 5-minute time frames, because what you can see is some chart patterns. And whenever you see a pullback with a chart pattern, that becomes a higher probability setup, because if that pattern breaks with volume, you can get a nice significant move up. So whenever you see a stock pull back at a high of day or a low of day and it starts to create either a bear flag or a bull flag or a pennant, that could be a high probability setup. Now, if we look at the 5-minute here, you can see very clean. SPX made the move up, bull pennant, breakout candle, confirmation candle. This is the candle for entry here to your next profit target, 41.85. Stock pulls back again. Now I enter on the 2-minute, so I will go to the 2-minute to show you guys exactly what I'd be watching. Okay. So this was the first entry to 41.85. That's your first profit target. You scale out or you exit, pulls back. Your stop would then be that previous level of resistance, which is 41.77, or you can make it 41.80, increase your stop to whatever your risk exposure is. Comes down, continues up into 41.80. So you can enter on this candle. Next level up is 41.90, exit on this candle. If you miss this break, entry on this candle, confirmation, next target up is 4,200. So you can see in this just one day, you had 1, 2, 3 opportunities to take this play. So try and implement this strategy on your next trading day and let me know how it works out for you guys.
All right, guys, so that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, any video suggestions, go ahead and comment them down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.